rehash old material time. Hi, it's Andy from gymnutrition.co.uk, back with another video. Today's video I'm going to do it on Sarms. Why not? No one watches anything else, so Sarms it is. I'm going to rehash a bit of old material. The reason I'm going to do that is because loads and loads of people are asking about Sarms. They're asking the basic questions about Sarms, which I've covered and everyone else has covered. I realise that. So I'm going to give you my experience when I've taken these particular Sarms. So as with all my Sarms videos, they're for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, if you get a bit of knowledge from it, yeah, all well and good, but do not take Sarms. Now, the first Sarm I took was Ostarine. Why did I take Ostarine? Because it is the mildest Sarm. I want just a little kick in the right direction. So what results did I get from Ostarine? I got some nice dry gains. So when I say dry gains, I was reasonably lean at the time. This was going back 2-3 years or whatever it was. Because I was reasonably lean, everything tightened up, put a little bit of muscle on, probably 4 or 5 pound over like whatever it was, probably 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, I can't remember exactly. 4 to 6 weeks period, I put on about 4 or 5 pound in muscle, in body weight, before anyone says. No noticeable water retention. At the end of it, no noticeable shutdown, so I didn't take a PCT. I did not take an on-cycle support either, because from what I can gather, Ostarine being very, very mild, I didn't think that me personally would warrant taking an on-cycle and a PCT, so I didn't bother. When I came off, didn't notice any noticeable shutdown or anything like that. When I came off, strength went down a little bit, condition blurred a little bit as well, but I was very pleased overall. So that was Ostarine. The next one up is Rad 140. Now, Rad 140 definitely gave me more bang for me bucks when compared with Ostarine. Again, with me there was no noticeable water retention. My strength went up more so than it did on Ostarine. I probably went on Rad 140 probably a couple of months, maybe 8 weeks or so, roughly, I can't remember, after I ceased taking Ostarine. So, strength gains more than Ostarine. How much more? And about another third, I'd say, on that. As for the size, definitely more size. Pump was probably about the same from memory. How much weight did I put on with Rad 140? Can't remember exactly. Probably around about 7 or 8 pounds, something along that sort of lines. So that was fuck's sake, that was Rad 140. I didn't take an on-cycle support. In hindsight, I probably would do. If I was to take it now, I'd probably throw in an on-cycle support. It's not particularly toxic to most people, 80% of people, but I might have been that 20% where it was slightly toxic to the system. So for the sake of spending 20 quid, I would, if I was going to do it now, take an on-cycle support, but the first time I took Rad 140, I didn't buy that. PCT, I took a natural test boost. I can't remember the one I took, because I've got loads of different ones in stock. The ones I normally take are the ones that I've got the most of in stock, so it could be any of them. So I did not notice any noticeable shutdown. Whether that was the natural PCT or not, probably not. I probably didn't get a lot of shutdown. I only stayed on Rad 140 the first time for 4 weeks, so that's probably a reason I didn't get a shutdown. If I was on it for 8, 12, 16 weeks, then I would have probably seen more of a shutdown the longer I stayed on it. But the 4 weeks, not likely to. The next one I took YK11, but I took YK11 with Rad 140. Again, I'm bibbing my heater at nobody, leaning on it. The YK11 stacked with Rad 140 definitely give more bang for bucks than just Rad 140 on its own. Stacking Sarms together, which could be a separate video, stacking Sarms together, I would say it's a bit like 1 + 1 = 3, not 2 if you're not very good at maths. So definitely stacking Sarms worked for me. So when I took the YK11, again, I seemed to notice really big pumps on it. So whether that was the YK11 kicking in with the rad, I don't know, but the pump seemed more intense than I remembered just by taking the rad on its own. And also the strength gains were up. Weight gain probably about the same as normal, no noticeable water retention, etc, etc. LGD, I've never taken LGD on its own. I've took it with Rad 140. What else did I take? Rad 140, MK677, LGD. So I've took it in this liquid venom product that we sell. So that one was pretty damn hardcore for me. So weight gain was up. The most I put on when I took that was about 18 pounds in body weight. Now before you say, oh, you can't put 18 pound of muscle on in 8 weeks, I'm not saying that. That's why I said I put 18 pound in body weight on, not muscle, because clearly a lot of that 18 pound was not muscle. When I looked at my pictures, I was quite bloated in the stomach. I'm always a little bit bloated in the stomach anyway. Oh, that's all the GH you took and all the steroids. It might have been, I don't know, whatever. I'm bloated in the stomach for whatever reason. Now, I got more so bloated in the stomach. More so bloated in the stomach, probably because the MK677 in that venom product makes you eat more food, or it made me eat more food, because it increases the hormone called ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. So because I was eating more food, and that more food, to be honest, was mainly crap. I'd eat my normal meal, you know, my chicken, rice, vegetable type, standard bodybuilding type meal, and then I think to myself, I'm starving, I might eat a whole box of cereal. So that's pretty much what I've done. So I'm going to put on a lot of weight in a short period of time by eating tons of food. But the end result was I was quite bloated in the stomach. I had noticeable water retention in my head. I mean, this big head was even bigger. So yes, probably not the greatest idea, but hey-oh, we all do it from time to time. And due to my age as well, because I was eating loads on the MK677, my body definitely couldn't handle the sheer volume of food. So again, in hindsight, probably not the best idea in the world, but hey, I've been there and done it. So also the strength increase on the venom product was pretty much astronomical. I'd compare it to taking like a mild course of, you know, even like a mild testosterone dianabol type course. It was that pretty intense, to be honest with you. Joints not great by increasing the strength dramatically in a short period of time. Again, age related, I suppose. But overall, the best for mass gain was that particular stack, MK677 Rad 140 LGD. So I took MK677 on its own, which again made me hungry. Probably not quite as hungry. The second time I took it, I was hungry, but not as ravenous as I was the first time I took it. So whether the hunger effect diminishes every time you take the particular product, well, it certainly did with me. But again, going back to the start of this video, why do you take a mild one as your first ever SARM? That's because of that reason, if that makes sense. Because when I took the MK677 first time, ravenous hungry, second time pretty hungry, third time healthy appetite but nothing major. So the effects wear off the more often you take that particular compound. So that's why I decided to take the mildest SARM first and then work my way up. So you get gains from the mild one, gains from the next one up, gains from the next one up, etc, etc, etc. So that's pretty much it, all I wanted to say. Quick sort of whirlwind tour of the SARMs. So again, if anybody wants to take SARMs, it's up to them. But me personally, like I said, Austrian, the mild one as a first off. One quick bit on the LGD as well. LGD gives you the most shutdown of all the SARMs that I've personally taken. So definitely a PCT with the sun's in my eyes now, God. Definitely a PCT with LGD, and I would also take, as I did, an on-cycle support with those as well, just to be on the safe side. So anyway, if you like my videos, please consider subbing to my channel. That would be wonderful, and I will love you forever. And on that note, I will see you on the next one.